Hello and welcome to Simply Saturday. This is a series where I get to show you a card that is fast and easy to make. My name is Julie and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. So today we're making another easy card, and I'm kind of capitalizing on the fact that I wanted to use this paper. This is a piece of paper from a 12 by 12 pack of Flowering Zinnias. Now there are some lovely prints in here, but I think that this large leafy one is a little challenging. So I wanted to jump in and try to use that paper today, and we're going to do so effectively. So I'm beginning with a thick cardstock base, and this measures 5.5 by 8.5. I've already pre-scored it at 4 1/4, and we're going to fold and burnish that. Then I have a piece of lemon lime cardstock, and I also have my designer series paper. Now, if you have Julie's layering templates, this is a template number 2, and this is a template size number 3. So if you don't use my templates, then you'll have to do your measuring instead. And this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So we're going to attach those to the card base. Let me tell you the other pieces I have. Now, what I did is I saw the flip side of this, and same thing. I thought, well, it's a very subtle print, but let's go ahead and use that as well. So I have a piece of that that is 1 inch by 3 1/2 inches. And then I have a scrap. So again, this is the front and the back of the same piece of paper. So then I have a scrap, and this piece is 3/8 by 4 1/2. The measurement on this piece doesn't have to be precise, because as I show you, I'm going to trim it off once we glue it. But this is just a scrap to decorate the inside. Then what I've done is I took one of those prints from the paper. This one, now again, this one can be kind of challenging. This is one of those ones that when it's the full 12 by 12, it's got a pattern going from about almost halfway to the edge of the paper, and then almost halfway to the other edge of the paper. And those pieces I've already used. So this is what was left. And so I decided to just fussy cut some of the flowers out of this paper. That is what I have here. Okay, the last piece was a white scrap that I went ahead and cut with a die. You do not need to use a die if you don't want to or don't have one that is suitable. Then you'll need a white scrap that is about 3 inches long and about 5/8 of an inch wide. You can determine that. But what I did is I used the die from Stylish Shapes, which has retired, but I still reach for it a lot. So that's my last piece. All right, let's go ahead and attach our pieces to the front and get all those layers in place. We only have a tiny bit of stamping. We're just going to stamp our words. This one is going to be a thank you card. Okay, I've got my lemon lime cardstock in place there as a front panel. And then let's add our designer series paper with all those lovely stems and leaves. All right, and it's got a nice little border all the way around each of those layers. Okay, next we're going to put our strip in place. That is this one. And I'm going to use this print so that it kind of stands out on top of the other print. I'm lining up my card onto my grid here. That will help me get this nice and straight, because I can look at these grid lines. So I am eyeballing it, but a little bit of help there. All right, now let's go ahead and do our stamping, because we're going to stamp on this piece, and then we will put that and our little flowers onto the front of the card. All right, so I'm just using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. And I did not pull my Stampin' Pierce mat out, so we're going to hope for the best. If it doesn't look great, then we'll have to do another one. Also, another word about stamping and die cutting. Normally, if I'm stamping on my own and not actually filming, I will stamp on a scrap of white cardstock and then die cut it out. Then it's perfect. Just to make it easier while I'm filming, I went ahead and die cut first. And so the problem is I'm going to have to try to stamp right smack in the middle and get it centered. So we'll see how I do. I much prefer stamping and then punching, or stamping and then die cutting. All right, so that will work. We're not going to do it a second time. And let's get that into place. What I haven't decided is if I'm going to do it flat or pop it up. I think we'll pop it up. Okay, it's your choice. If you're really doing a speedy card and you don't have time to reach for your dimensionals, then I understand. And you can just use your adhesive and stick it on flat. But I'm going to use 3 mini Stampin' Dimensionals. All right, now I'm going to take that stamped piece that is popped up, and I was going to put it right in the center, but right now I'm feeling it a little bit to the right. So let's go with that. Of course, you could make 2 or 3 and change them up a little bit just by changing the placement. All right, so we've got that. And now I'm going to take this little die cut that I created just by, not a die cut, this little cutout that I created by fussy cutting just with my scissors. And what's nice is that little straight edge, let me show you, it came straight from the edge of the paper, is going to fit nicely right up against that. It almost looks like it's popping up out of it. So let's get that into place. And then as I'm gluing that, I'm thinking about maybe a little embellishment. Okay, this is going to come down. So my purple flower is hitting the top edge of my striped piece, and that little lemon lime twist leaf is as well. And there we have it. Oh my goodness. So this was so fast because we just kind of used what we had and put it together with a little creative twist. Okay, we're going to embellish that, but let's put this piece on the inside. It's so plain, and this didn't take a lot of time or effort, so let's dress up the inside just by putting a strip that I have now dropped to the floor. We're going to put the strip here just above the bottom edge, and I left it a little long because I think it's easier to get into place if you leave a little extra on it and then you trim it after it's in place. If it was cut exactly end to end the same width as my cardstock, sometimes it's just hard to get it perfectly straight so that you don't have any white peeking out, even if you're very careful when you do your measuring. So this can go right up against the fold, and I'm going to get it as straight as I can. It's nice to use your liquid glue because I can push this end up a little bit. It was too low. Now it's better. Okay, so see, now that that's in place, I'll just take my scissors and snip that overhang right off. And now this piece goes end to end seamlessly with no little bit of white cardstock showing on accident. Okay, I reached for these adhesive backed shiny sequins. Mostly because I feel like they match the colors in the paper. So let's see what we're going to do with these. The green is obviously beautiful. So is that pink color. All right, I'm leaning towards the green because I know that it looks really good, but I kind of want to pull in a little extra color. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a small pink one and add it here. because I do feel like that's a little off center. So let's fill in some of that extra white space. We'll kind of camouflage it with that. And then I'm going to take another small one in the pink and just kind of have it hover up here above my flowers. And this time I'll go for a large, still in the pink, and pull it down here. So there is my, my triangle that draws your eye to look at everything and incorporate it together. And there we have our simple but adorable little thank you card. So probably what I'll do when I do an envelope is I will probably put a strip of that same paper on my envelope to tie it together, since we didn't really use any image stamps besides our words. And that will make a lovely piece that's ready to go into the mail to a friend. Thank you so much for watching today. I'll put some information for you in the drop-down box below this video. And until next time, happy stamping!